I've contracted to bone horse meat for an Irish producer. The horse meat is delivered, it's cut up, and it's taken from here to Belgium. And I get paid for doing the cutting up. There's no further processing. I don't do kebabs. I don't do mincemeat. Don't do beef burgers. This is not a processing plant. This is purely production, meat cutting.
The Food Standards Agency has said that operations have been suspended here today, so
well,
are you saying they're not?
Well, you can see for yourself that the activity that is going on speaks for itself. I invited you in to see and to report what you saw, and I can't say more than that. The FSA have been untruthful. Since I started doing this 3.5 weeks ago, they have been informed. There's a complete paper trail. When the container comes from Ireland, they get the paperwork, so they have known about it. And to pick on me now doesn't make sense in any way, shape or form. I can't work it out.
What sort of impact is this having on you?
Well, what impact would it have on anyone? I mean, it's the same. I'm just a human being that's trying to run a business and gets dealt a low blow. And people will make their own minds up. If I protest too much, but I can't do no more than show you and tell you what the processes are.
Dafydd Raw-Rees there speaking to my colleague Sian Lloyd earlier. Well, officials from the Food Standards Agency are still here this lunchtime continuing with their investigation, and earlier Andrew Rhodes from the FSA told us why they're here.
Our investigations have determined that we found horse meat that was produced at the plant in West Yorkshire being sent to a location in West Wales, a business called Farmbox. We entered that premises yesterday. FSA enforcement officers entered that premises following up on the evidence we'd found. And we spoke to the staff there and we seized product, and we found that horse meat had been used as though it were beef in kebabs and burgers at that premises.
Andrew Rhodes there. Well, let's have a quick chat now with Di Davies, Chairman of Meat Promotions Wales. Di Davies, tell us to begin with what your reaction is to what's alleged to have happened here.
Well, naturally the whole industry is shocked, and it's a very worrying development. I think as far as farmers in Wales is concerned, they are very annoyed and dismayed by what they've heard. The fact that they have to go through so many hoops, face so much bureaucracy. One of their animals going to an abattoir would have to have 2 tags, one in each ear. They'd have to have a passport to identify which farm it's come from. If they'd lost one of the tags, it'd be condemned and rejected. And here we hear of horses actually going into the food chain. Horses, quite often, they don't even know which country they come from, let alone which farm they come from.
Of course, it's your job to try and sell Welsh meat, to promote Welsh meat. What does this do to the reputation of Welsh meat now? Well,
any bad news sort of taints the industry, but we're quite fortunate in Wales in that we have PGI status, which is Protected Geographical Indication, and Hubby Cymru or Meat Promotion Wales actually polices it. It's only open to certain abattoirs who reach a certain standard, and we are very pleased that we've got that for Welsh beef and Welsh lamb. And if a consumer has concerns, she should make sure that she looks for that label.
Very, very quickly, some people may be surprised to hear that horse meat is cut here. Dafydd Raw-Rees admits that and says there's nothing wrong with it, it's approved. Just tell us very, very briefly about that situation more generally in Wales.
Well, as far as I know, there isn't any approved abattoir in Wales for horse meat, but of course there's nothing illegal about eating horse meat. Most of the horses that are actually killed in the UK are actually exported to Europe. What is wrong here that they're substituting horse meat for beef.